And so what happened to me, yeah, I'm a mountain climber, I'm a husband, I'm a father, this and that, minister. But I had a new role. Almost beyond the role of husband, but part of the major role of a husband whose wife has cancer. I became a caregiver. My life drastically changed from being just a husband who took care of a sick wife whenever she had a sniffle every now and then. I became a husband, but I became a caregiver of a woman with cancer, not knowing if she's going to live a year from now, not knowing if she's going to live 6 months, not knowing and hoping she'll outlive me. Became a caregiver. Now, what's interesting is being a caregiver has all kinds of aspects to it. In fact, let me go over a few of the things that I had to become as a caregiver. I've got my box of caregiving stuff. One thing I had to do, I had to become the person who does the laundry. And I asked, Debbie, what does HE mean on this thing? Can I use dishwashing soap? What about a bar of dial? Can I use that? No? Okay, so I got to use Tide. So yeah, I became the laundry person. One problem about being the laundry person, Debbie, honey, is this your shirt? Was I supposed to wash that in cold water? And I forgot to put one of those little dryer things in. It's kind of hard. Can you still wear that? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I messed up. I mess up occasionally. One thing that you got to do is you got to become a nurse. And this was my favorite duty. And a lot of fun to change and clean out and that sort of stuff. Looks like a doggy dish. Come on, Blue. Come on. I ain't coming. Come on, boy. Some water. Now, one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to hang this around my neck because that's something I'd rather forget. So you become a nurse. That's also the role, I guess, of CNA. My daughter's a licensed CNA. She says, Daddy, you know what a CNA, she said, I'm not going to do that because the first night that I had to do it, I had to give a bath to an 80-year-old man. She says, I'm not doing that again. So Mary quickly decided she did not want to be a CNA worker, right? All right, another thing is that you have to do is you have to become really a pharmacist. And so that's a whole nother role. You got to make sure that she has the right medicine at the right time. You got to say, okay, what do you need at 4 o'clock? What do you need before you go to bed? So you had to become a pharmacist. And sometimes I was scared to death I was going to miss the right pill. Sometimes it was scary because she had a whole lot. And I wanted to make sure she didn't run out of a particular kind of pill. So I had to make sure that the pharmacy filled the prescriptions correctly. Oh, let's see. Another thing that I had to become the errand boy. I had to make sure that I did everything and went every place she needed me to go. To pick up this, to pick up that. In the middle of the night when she perhaps was hungry. Dickie, I hate that. Dickie, would you go get me one of those little peachy milkshakes from Chick-fil-A? Honey, it's 4 a.m. I don't think they're open. Well, can you see? What if I just go get you some ice cream and a peach from Publix? Will that work? No. So I had to become an errand boy. I had to go this and do that. One thing that was difficult is had to become the chief breadwinner. Another thing you have to do. I mean, there's a lot of roles to being a caregiver. Another thing that I had to become her chief comforter. Had to comfort the young lady. Honey, is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable? Can I bring you anything? Can I give you a comforter? Can I bring you another shirt? Can I bring you a bath towel? What can I do? So I had to provide a lot of comfort for Debbie. Another thing that I had to become is I had to become her counselor. I had to become her counselor. Okay, Debbie, let's see now. Now, how are you feeling today? How does that make you feel? Tell me about your mother. I could tell you a lot about your mother. Tell me about Scott. Is Scott driving? What about Mary? Now, I know she's driving you crazy. You got to become a counselor and act like you know everything and all that kind of good stuff. Real hard. Another thing you have to do is you have to become Mr. Fix-It. Duct tape can cure any disease. As long as you have a roll of duct tape, you can beat cancer. Anything you need. Now, one thing about duct tape, one thing about being the Fix-It, is this duct tape can also be used to keep your mouth shut. Sometimes they'd be like that more than anything. All right, sometimes you have to be the cook. Oh, that was fun. I loved being a cook. A lot of fun. I am absolutely the worst cook in the world. You know what became my favorite TV program? The Food Network. I love Paula Deen, y'all. I should have a stick of butter in here. Whole bunch of butter. Yeah, I had become the butter person, right? Yeah, I used to love to watch. Now, what's funny is, there's some good-looking girls on the Food Network. It's to the point where, okay, you're watching the most important game in the world. It's the Super Bowl. Oh, the Giants and New England, they're playing in the Super Bowl. And it's 30 seconds left, and it's tied. And the Giants are 40 yards away. They've got the chance for a final field goal to win it. Honey, turn the channel. Giada's on. I want to see Giada. She's good looking. Sandra Lee, she's about ready to come on. Turn that channel. But you learn to do things that you don't want to do as a caregiver. I didn't want to cook. I wanted her to cook. She's a woman. By gosh, you get in the kitchen, woman. That's what God called you to do. It's somewhere in the Bible. Think over there in the book of Leviticus, somewhere on there. It's after that grain offering thing. In fact, it talks about grain. Better make me some biscuits. Yeah, I learned how to cook. Learn how to boil water. Cup of noodles. Honey, you want another cup of noodles? We can get those things for like 1,000 for $2 at Costco. What about one of those big bags of rice? What about that 1,000-pound bag of flour? That'll come in handy. I tell you, I do eat cup of noodles. I love cup of noodles. In fact, being a camper, that's all you do when you go camping and climbing is eat noodles. Why? Because they're so light and it doesn't weigh much, so you can put them in your backpack, and it doesn't kill you to carry them. In fact, sadly, one thing about being a caregiver is you become the bank. You become the bill payer. And what's sad is you have no idea what bills you have because she's been doing it all. What's this bill for, honey? Mary, she downloaded 700 iTunes songs? $1,000 for this? What's this bill for? It says it's to Coldwater Creek. I don't buy anything from Coldwater Creek. You haven't even been out of bed. So who went to Coldwater? Oh, yeah, Mary's home. So you get bill after bill after bill, and what happens is you have more month than you have money. You ever been there? You have more month left than you have money. But you got to be creative and come up with some money because bills are coming in. Insurance payments are coming in that they won't pay for you because you have a copay. Yeah, the insurance, oh, honey, they paid $25 this time, but we got to pay $1,000. Praise God for insurance. Cup of noodles. This is no joke. The guys at work, we'd always go to lunch together, have a ball, go to the mall, all kinds of places to eat at the mall. Well, not really. It's the same old Subway, a couple kind of Chinese, Japanese kind of places. You know, some place that makes these kind of sandwiches, like Philadelphia sandwiches. I don't know if it's Philadelphia sandwich, something like that. There's all kind of little places that you can go. Obviously, a Chick-fil-A is always there. So we go and have a good time. But what happened to me was I started not going. And I would tell the guys, oh, come on, let's go to the mall and eat. Let's do it. Well, I got a lot of work to do. I can't. I brought my own lunch. Cup of noodle. I brought my own lunch. Don't worry. Next day, oh, listen, I'd love to go, but I brought my own lunch. I got to stay. I've got a lot of work to do. I did that a lot. Because we started having a whole lot less money. And $6 for a Chick-fil-A sandwich and a Coke was a little bit too much. I discovered 5 days a week, that's $30 a week I could save just on lunch, because I could eat cup of noodles and it only cost me 89 cents for lunch. And I would drink water. Did that time after time, because in a month I could save, almost $120, $150. That's almost half of a car payment. So paying the bills, not knowing where the money would come from, that gave me a whole new level of respect for Debbie. How in the world she was able to juggle all that stuff while I'm out floating around. Hey, at church, praise God, how you doing? Good to see you today. Oh, I got to go on visitation tonight, honey. Can't take care of the kids. She's carrying the whole burden, all of our life, of paying the bills. Problem is, I don't even know how much money we have. But I had to start to find out, because she was so sick, she couldn't take care of this stuff. So I had to find out where to get the money. And sadly, that does happen, is that all of a sudden, you started saying, disco card, that came in. We owe $4,000 on this card at 21% interest. Honey, is that a good deal? This card became filled. This card became filled up. And all of a sudden, because of this stupid thing called cancer, we started getting very financially strapped. We had to let go of a lot of stuff. We had to stop doing a whole lot of stuff, because really it came down to me, Debbie, eating, and doctor bills. It's basically what it does. Sucks the life, sucks the money out of you. So it was hard. It was hard being that part of a caregiver when I never was that part of a caregiver. It made me scared to death every day. I hope I don't lose my job. Because if I lose my job, I'm going to lose my insurance. And if I lose my insurance, what are we going to do? So money became a whole different perspective for me. Where I used to didn't even know, hey, I don't know how much I need. Honey, let's go out to dinner tonight. Let's go to the movies. Let's do this. Let's do that. We couldn't do it anymore. One, she was too sick. Number two, because we couldn't afford it. That became a hard part of being a caregiver, juggling the finances and paying 21% interest. It seems like forever. Thank God my sisters helped. One time they came over. In fact, when Debbie was diagnosed, it was starting the process, starting the journey. They drove over from Carolina Beach, where they live, and they came and said, hey, is there anything we can do to help? I said, yes, you can. And before they left, they pulled out a check and gave us $500. And they said, hey, I know you're going to have some copay stuff coming. This might help. Thank God for family people like that. They can help you. Some folks don't have that, but thank God that we did.